Well, a big highball and hello to all the model railroaders and rail fans out there, and welcome to the June-July 2021 edition of the Central Division. Hey, a big thank you to all the subscribers to the channel. I tell you what, I enjoy sharing the layout, and you guys are the ones going to help keep me motivated and moving forward. And if you're new to the channel, the Central Division is the name of my Missouri Pacific switching layout set in the 1970s era in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And I tell you, since our last visit, we've made a lot of updates, and I've got some structures I've put down. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to show you what I've done. So two structures I've finished up for my team track include a loading dock and ramp and a piggyback ramp. And I'm going to show you how I did these. So for the concrete ramp and loading dock, I started out with a base color called Paver Gray. And this is a spray paint made by Krylon, and it's a chalky finish, which basically means it just has a good flat finish. I also used artist acrylics to include raw umber, a antique white, which is sort of a yellow white, a country gray, which is a good light gray color, and then what they call an elephant gray in the apple barrel series, which is a medium gray. Now, after the base coat dried, the first thing I did was I painted the area between the ramp and dock raw umber, and that represents a steel support band that's, the ramp's been there a while, so it has that nice dark brown rust color. So to get that look of mixed colors you often see in old concrete, I just use a sponge painting technique. You pick these up in packages of 15 or 20 at Walmart or Hobby Lobby or Amazon. They're just artist sponges. They're pretty cheap. And if you've never done this before, the technique is easy. I just cut off a small section of the sponge, except for the raw umber. I put a small sample of the different colors you saw earlier in my palette. Here you see I'm using the country gray. And you just dip in the paint. You want to get the majority of the paint off the sponge before you do the application. It's almost a dry technique. And you see here, all you're doing is just pressing the sponge in random areas. And that's all it is to it. The piggyback ramp is a solid resin piece, and it already came in modeled in a nice antique concrete color. So all I had to do was just add raw umber to the iron sections to give it that nice old rusty look. And then using the sponge painting technique I showed you earlier, I took some light medium gray and just randomly applied it around the concrete, kind of get that old dirty look. But I also wanted the expansion lines and the other lines around this model to really pop. So I used a technique starting out with a gloss clear coat. So I used Tamiya's gloss coat, and there's other brands out there, but if you're wanting to use a specific product, the product number you're looking for is TS13. So to get those expansion lines and other lines to really kind of come out and the model to pop, I used a product called Tamiya Panaline Accent Color, and I used the gray for the piggyback ramp, and it comes in brown, gray, and black. And the reason for the gloss coat is this helps this product really flow in the cracks and crevices. So this product comes pre-mixed, and the application is really easy. It actually has a small brush on the lid you see here, and you shake it up, and then basically you come over and you just add a little bit of the product in the cracks and crevices. And again, that gloss coat is going to help it kind of flow down and in there. So to remove the line accent from areas that I didn't want it to go, basically I just took a little bit of artist turpenoid and I put it on a lint-free cloth and just very gently wiped over that area, and it came right off. You can also use like a paint thinner or brush cleaner too if you wanted to do that. So for the next to last step, I used two colors from my Bragdon weathering powder kit. I used a dark rust and what they call a Dust Bowl brown. So the first color I used is the dark rust. So what I did is I got a little bit of weathering powder on the sponge, and in the areas that you would see the rust kind of washed down from rain, I very gently applied it in that area. So for the Dust Bowl brown weathering powder, I just applied this all over the model. This is my go-to color for most of my outdoor structures. It gives that look of time, exposure, and the normal dirt and grime. It kind of builds up, but it's not overpowering like a black or brown, so it's a really good neutral color to use. So once I applied this, I looked the model over, and when I was happy with it, applied a shot of dull coat and called it done. So here you see the finished piggyback ramp and the finished loading dock. And this will eventually be a team track scene. Now for the loading dock, I finished it up using the same techniques that I did on the piggyback ramp. I shot it with gloss coat, and then for the expansion lines, what I did is I used the Tamiya panel line product, and I used the brown for this model. Then I applied weathering powder, and then shot it with a dull clear coat and called it done. So another kit I've completed is a tank car loading and loading rack. And this is just a Walters Cornerstone kit, and the overall scene is going to be Dow Chemical Company. So to complete everything, I've got a couple of background flats on order, as well as a storage tank kit from Walters I've got to put together. So this scene near the yard is almost complete. The structure is from the previous layout, and it's just a laser cut wood structure. So I've put in the driveway and the short grass, and since the layout is set in the 1970s, nothing says 1970s better than a 74 Buick station wagon. This is actually a classic Metalworks car, and I'm a fan of the movie Vacation, so I had to go with the metallic pea color for the station wagon. And if you're not familiar with this, watch a few minutes of the movie Vacation, and you'll know what I'm talking about pretty soon. So one of the things I have to do to complete the scene is add a wooden privacy fence around the yard. And so I decided to go with a fence kit by Master Creations, and I've never worked with a Master's Creation kit, so if anyone has built this kit, let me know in the comment section and tell me what you think. Another scene that's almost complete by the yard, I call the other side of the tracks, and this is a laser cut wood structure I built for this layout. So the look I was trying to get is, a house from the other side of the tracks. So you see here the paint is peeling, some little bit of roof damage there, probably a couple of leaks, and the attic window has been broken out, just kind of boarded over. I still have to go back and add some weeds and taller grass and some bushes, have them encroaching on the house, as well as put a couple of jump cars in the yard. But not to worry, folks, even though this family doesn't have a lot of money, they've got a great view of the train, so life is good. Well, thanks again for stopping by and visiting the layout. Hey, if you like what you see, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I've got other videos out there, and I just released another how-to video, part 1 on the installation and weathering of track, and part 2 is going to be out soon, so keep an eye out for that. And hey, if you have any comments or questions or suggestions, be sure to leave those in the comment section below. And until next time, folks, highball!